Hello, everyone. If you are not familiar with me, my name is the Beeve, Build a Beaver in the Guild. I am part owner of the Guild, and we here in the Guild tend to take on newer players or inexperienced players. So, kind of want to go over do some videos here that we're going to post here on the Facebook page. And videos that are going to help people improve DPS, understand how gear works, understand how champion points work. The flower, who she takes care of the more of the back end things of the guild and helping people out more. She wants to do things about showing people how to donate to the guild, show people how to list things for sale, and just all kinds of useful information. So the first video here, what I want to do is one of the things that I see most people struggle with in this game is DPS, and a lot of people don't understand how combat works, and that's fine. It takes a while to figure out exactly what you're supposed to be doing in combat. You've all ran across the guy who just spams the same ability over and over and over again, and if you're that guy, I'm calling you out right now. But it's not a good sustainable DPS when you do things like that. This game, in combat, what you want to try to do is you want to be linking abilities together, putting damage over time abilities on top of damage over time abilities, on top of possibly even more damage over time abilities, and then having some sort of big damage dealer or a spammable damage dealer. What I want to go over today is I have my sorc here. Now, this is an 810 sorc, so I do have a lot of my champion points in different places and whatnot. We'll kind of go over that when we get to that section right there. But I would just like to show people how easy it is to actually learn and get a simple rotation down pat. And then you can turn that rotation into adding more things into it, adding more abilities into it. Once you're comfortable with simplicity, you can move on to more far complex and dynamic rotations that will put out even harder damage abilities. I got a lot to go over here. I'm sorry this will run kind of long. I'm going to keep it as short as possible, but with as much as I want to cover, it's kind of tough. But first and foremost, let's go over the gear that I'm wearing. Now, I do have specialized gear that I normally wear. I have taken all of that off right now and put on gear that is very easily obtained through farming or just buying it through the guild traders, and monster helms that are very easily obtained as well. You see a lot of these videos online. These people should showcase these amazing DPS numbers. The problem is, they go through their gear and it's all trial gear or, high-end dungeon gear, high-end dungeon helms. And for some people, that's just not obtainable yet. So with what I'm going to show you right here is very obtainable for anybody to get. And it can have really good damage output. So first and foremost, first set we're using is the Spell Strategist set. This is a set that you can find these in your coffers when you play in PvP areas like Battlegrounds or Cyrodiil. If you're lucky enough, you can get them there. Or you can find them in traders and buy them. They can be a little bit pricey. Body armor pieces aren't too bad. Some of the purple jewelry isn't too bad. Gold jewelry is obviously expensive. And you will run across staves being expensive as well. Now, I am running a pet sorc, so I have chosen a lightning staff for both bars. So I have the Spell Strategist lightning staff on both bars. Front bar, I have my increased weapon and spell damage by 452 for 5 seconds glyph on there. And it's buffed because I am running this infused, which increases your weapon enchantments by 30% and reduces the enchantment cooldown by 50%. Which this is a wonderful thing right here, because on this bar, this front bar, is where I lay down my blockade of storms, which you'll see here in a little bit. It is it's a damage over time area of effect damage that makes that, since it's a weapon skill or a weapon damage, it will re-proc that glyph even after that glyph falls off. So I can have literally have a 100% uptime, or really darn close 100% uptime on this glyph, which gives me more spell damage, as you can see. Back bar, I am just running a shock damage on infused as well, and you can see it deals 4,348 damage. This set alone, go over the stats real quick. 2 pieces, 1,096 max magicka. 3 pieces, 129 spell damage. 4 pieces, 129 spell damage. 5th piece, when you deal damage with a light attack, you place a mark over your target for 5 seconds, granting you 500 spell damage against your marked target. This can occur once every 4 seconds. So it stays up for 4 seconds, and it can occur once, or stays up for 5 seconds and occur once every 4 seconds. So if you get your rotation down right, you can keep this up also 100% of the time, and or real close. So the spell strategist I have on my bars, my staves, so that's 2 pieces of it right there. And then I have the spell strategist jerkin, I have the spell strategist breeches, and spell strategist shoes. So that makes my 5 pieces on both bars. Now, I also am wearing the Necropotence as my other 5-piece set. This is a set that is very easily farmed or found in Rivenspire, or even bought in traders for relatively easy amounts of money. You can find gold, or you can find like green body pieces for a couple thousand, pretty cheap, honestly. Even the necklace and rings go for about 20 to 25k. Don't pay any more than that if you do go searching it out. But this set is very simple. This is maximum magicka, maximum magicka, maximum magicka. While you have a pet active, your maximum magicka is increased by 3,150. So it is just all max magicka. Now, for some people may not understand why you do that. The explanation on this is that the higher your maximum magicka, or the higher your maximum stamina, the more your magicka abilities and or stamina abilities do damage for. It is a tooltip. So the higher your max magicka is, the higher your magicka abilities do, the more damage your magic abilities do. It equates down to, for about every 10.5 maximum magicka is equal to 1 spell power. So we've got about 6,400, almost 6,500, or 6,400 max magicka right here between having this 5-piece set on, which is going to equate to, in tooltip, it's going to be, in that area of a little over 600 worth of spell damage in tooltip. Now, that doesn't show up on your character sheet. You're not going to see your spell damage go up from it. Your maximum magicka causes your abilities to actually have higher numbers, do more damage. So that's why we choose this set for this pet build that I have. The Alumbris set is out of Crypt of Hearts. Very, very easy set to farm. To get shoulders, you will find in the guy's chest, Gearleon, or whatever his name is, from the Undaunted line. Now, this setup right here is maximum magicka, and when you deal flame or shock damage, you have a 10% chance to summon a meteor shower of that damage type that deals 1579 damage to all enemies within 4 meters every 1 second for 5 seconds, and it can occur once every 8 seconds. With as many shock damage abilities we have, this goes off pretty often. And if we had flame damage abilities as well, you could see them both go off. But we're not using flame damage abilities, and even so, it's still a very good, very easy to find and powerful damage over time, because it almost looks like a mini Elemental Rage, a mini Destro ultimate that drops over top of a bunch of things, and it does damage to everything in that 4 meter area, so it hits multiple targets at one time. All of my jewelry, I am running in the Bloodthirsty trait, which increases the damage against enemies under 25% health by 10%. This right here, not having the Arcane on here drops my Max Magicka, but it really does a huge push on damage, that last 25%. And now granted, there are some bosses that you don't want heavy burns on. March of Sacrifice, or not March of Sacrifice, but Moonhunter Keep. The last boss is more of a controlled burn, so you have to be careful in some dungeons where you have to control burn some bosses so you don't get overran with ads and whatnot. But there are some bosses like Falkreath Hold where after that 30% shout, he does another shout at, I do believe, 10% and 5% if I'm not mistaken. And me and another DPS with me having this Bloodthirsty jewelry on helps me push through that 10% and 5% and not give him a chance to shout because we just wipe it off him so quick. So there are cases where it is a wonderful thing, and then there are some instances where you need to, realize the situation and dial DPS back. But those are the sets that I'm using. They're not all, I have more things in Divine. For some reason, I transmuted this into Reinforced. I don't understand why, but some of this stuff should be infused, like my big pieces, like my legs and my chest and my head. But they're not. They're in Divines, and it's not really a big deal in my opinion. It's min-maxing in my opinion at that point. So you'll see by the numbers how well this does anyway. So now let's move on to character sheet real quick. 44,767 Max Magicka. Magicka recovery is only 771. Max health 12,000. Max stamina 9,800. Spell damage 2562. Spell crit 39%. Resistances are 12k and 9.5k. Now my food has worn out. I have two different food options here. How about slaughtable? There we go. So when it comes to the food, well, three different. There is the Clockwork Citrus Fillet, but it's really expensive. Adds max health, max magicka, and recovery on both max health and max and magicka. There is the Double Bloody Mara. This is my food of choice. I get a lot of high max magicka and max health out of eating this food. Now, this doesn't help with my sustain, because there's no extra recovery added. But I'm going to show you the rotation that I do, which includes heavy attacking, which helps keep that helps keep that magicka coming back. So you don't really need to worry about the Witch Mother's Potent Brew, which is my other option that has less max stats and but it adds recovery. So if you have trouble with sustain, you go with Witch Mother's Potent Brew or Clockwork Citrus, which is, like I said, expensive. It takes perfect row. The Double Bloody Mara is a wonderful option. It adds a lot of max health, a lot of max magicka. The higher that max magicka is, the more damage output you're getting tooltip wise. So I like to take the Double Bloody Mara. Now, just to show you real quick, character sheet again. Now I'm up to 52,130 max magicka, 19,737 max health. So two really, really big boosts right there. Abilities. This is where things get very, very simple, in my opinion. This first ability setup I'm going to show you is about as simple as it gets, and can do really good amounts of damage. Some people would be shocked at all the more this is. So, Blockade of Storms, this is under the Destruction Staff line. It is the morph of Wall of Elements. So I morphed it into Elemental Blockade. It makes the area of damage bigger, and the duration lasts for 8 seconds. Then I have my Liquid Lightning. This is from the Storm Calling line. It is the morph from Lightning Splash. Liquid Lightning has a longer duration than Lightning Flood. Lightning Flood ticks a little bit heavier, but it doesn't have that long of a duration, where Liquid Lightning has a longer duration. Doesn't tick as heavy as the Liquid Flood does, but stays up longer and gives you a chance to reapply it before it drops off, and that's very important when it comes to DPS numbers. If you're reapplying damage over time or area effect damages before they fall off, you're keeping constant damage up, and that's where the really big numbers come from. Now, under my Daedric Summoning here, I have my Volatile Familiar. He doesn't do a whole lot of damage, you see here, 1,787 shock damage. When you activate him, he does 4,824 shock damage every 2 seconds for 8 seconds to all enemies around him. And the final pulse will stun all enemies and hit for 3 seconds. So it's a nice little stun in big mobs too. So he's pretty powerful, and he gets even more powerful. Getting into a second here. I run Bound Aegis. This is from the Daedric Summoning line as well. And this isn't an ability I do anything with other than just keep it on my bar. While slotted, your max magicka is increased by 8%, and you gain Minor Ward and Minor Resolve. These increase your spell and physical resistance. So you get 1320 extra spell and physical resistance with this on your bar. Plus, if you're the type of person that blocks, you can activate this and block, and it gives you a 36% block mitigation. So it helps you block a little bit more damage. Inner Light is the Mage Light morph that comes from the Mages Guild line. This is another one that I don't do anything with other than just have it on my bar, and that is because when it's slotted, you get an increase of 5% max magicka, and you have Major Prophecy at all time, increasing your spell critical rating by 2191, which equals out to 10%. 10% higher spell critical rating with this on here. Front bar is my Greater Storm Atronach. He does a lot of damage on impact, and then he does shock damage after that. 11,064 shock damage and stuns enemies for 3 seconds. The Atronach zaps the closest enemy, dealing 5,491 shock damage every 1 second. So really, really heavy hitting single target damage right here. This is great for boss fights where it's just single target, where it's just a boss. And plus it has a really nice synergy to it as well. Granting somebody hits the charged lightning synergy, it grants the ally and the Atronach Major Berserker, increasing their damage done by 25% for 8 seconds. That is a huge boost in damage for 2 different people. So really, really good for utility right there. Back bar, once again, I have my pet, my same Volatile Familiar. I have this on both bars because if you only have it on one bar and you swap bars, your pet will go away. So you have to keep it on both bars so he doesn't come off. Daedric Prey. This is another really cool ability right here. You curse an enemy with a rune of magic, dealing 12,959 magic damage to the target and 6,335 magic damage to all targets nearby after 6 seconds. So it ticks for 6 seconds and then it blows. Now, after while it's active, your pets deal an additional 40% more damage. Now, that is the big thing, because that is your pets and your Atronach, both. So, any pet is doing 40% more damage while to the target that's attached to, and your Atronach is doing 40% more damage that curse is attached to. So, this makes both of those things hit tremendously hard. Right here, this is kind of a flex skill. First and foremost, I'm just basically going to put I'm going to put my Power Surge here. This is a nice little utility slot for the Power Surge, especially if you're still not good at staying out of AoEs and you're having a hard time staying alive sometimes. This ability is really nice. It does give you weapon and spell damage of 20% for 33 seconds, which is really nice. But while it's active, anytime you get a critical strike, it heals you for 25-50 health. and that can occur once every 1 second. So every second that you can possibly do a critical damage with, it's going to give you health back. So it does take a little bit of work off the healer's back for the most part, having this here. All right, so this setup here is very simple. This is a 4 ability rotation. Nothing more, nothing left. It is very easy. First, we are laying down Blockade of Storms. Then we're going to Light Attack. Then we're going to lay down Liquid Lightning. And then we're going to Bar Swap. And then we're going to Light Attack, apply Daedric Prey, Light Attack, activate our pet, switch bars, do a fully charged heavy attack, and start over. It is literally that simple. There's nothing to it. You just want to make sure that you are light attacking between each ability, because that is going to help animation cancel some abilities, make the rotation go a little bit smoother, and this is a very, very easy to learn type of rotation that once you practice it for a little while, you'll get it down pat, and then you can start throwing different things into the mix. So real quick like here, let's go ahead and do a skeleton parse. One of the things I'm going to do here is, since I don't have a tank here, I got this elemental susceptibility. This is the elemental drain morph, or the weakness to element morph. What this does is that it applies major breach for 23 seconds, reducing the spell resistance by 5,280. That is exactly what a tank does when he uses pierce armor. So having this, on the boss or on the target dummy is going to allow me to hit it like I would in a dungeon. And then the nice part about the elemental susceptibility one is anytime you do damage to an enemy, it refreshes the effect to its maximum duration. So every time you do any damage to it, the timer resets. So I can apply this, and I can put it on my bar, apply it, take it back off my bar, and start my rotation, and it'll never fall off until it dies. So it's just a little trick to being able to do skeleton parses by yourself and not having to have a tank there sticking it for you. Real quick like as well, I want to show you all of my points are in Magicka, nothing in health, nothing in stamina, and I do run the mage for increased maximum Magicka. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the blockade with elemental susceptibility just for a second. I'm just going to apply my elemental susceptibility, go back in, put my elemental blockade back on, and then I shall start my rotation. I am using spell power pots for this, so here we go. I'm going to hit a pot and start everything off. 4 simple buttons. Light attack ability, bar swap, light attack ability, bar swap, heavy attack. That simple, guys. Not a whole lot to it. It kind of teaches you how to rotate, how to get through a rotation. You'll see my max Magicka. You see how my Magicka bar, it goes down when I do these abilities, but I'm pulling this heavy attack off right here, and it's taking it right back up. Here we are still, just easy peasy. Four abilities, done. 4 abilities, done again. So very simple, very easy to follow. I'm doing this a lot slower than I normally would. I'll do a full speed one here in a minute to show you exactly how quick it really can be. This is just a slowed down version of it, just so you see what's going on. Okay, so right there, 31,915. That's enough damage to complete any veteran dungeon in this game. that's enough damage to get into some veteran trials. We're not talking Maw of Lorcage or anything like that, but that is more than enough damage to do any vet material, any vet dungeon material in this game. Alright, so now, let me go back in here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this at my speed. You're going to see how much this the speed on this picks up and how much the damage picks up. So here we go. You know what? Maybe it won't pick up in speed because it's a little bit laggy today for some reason. Must be a lot of people on. Making sure I hit those pots when they come back available again, too. Four buttons. Four easy buttons. And there you go. 33k. That is, it's not bad. Like I said, anything basically over 25,000 is more than enough damage for a veteran dungeon. Now, if we go in and we change out abilities, we go into the Summon Twilight Matriarch here. Instead of having our Bound Aegis up, we do lose a little bit of Max Magicka in the process. But this Twilight right here has two really cool functions. One, it's a damage dealer. 6743 shock damage with its zap and 5900 shock damage with its kick. Now, this is another thing that Daedric Prey adds 40% damage on as well, so more damage output right there. Plus, this second ability that it has is you heal yourself. So this pet, you don't have this pet adds no button pushes to the mix whatsoever, unless you're hurt and dying. And then all you do is whatever button you have it attached to, like I have it on L1, I tap L1, bam, 10k heal on me and itself and my other pet. There, 17k heal that time when it critted for. So, huge burst heal on yourself and even other allies. It will hit people in your group and heal them as well. So it's a nice little utility piece. Now I want to show you the damage that this has on here as well. So, some people don't like running the bird. I like running the bird. But let's check out the difference in DPS now. Four-button rotation, light attack blockade, light attack lightning, swap bar, light attack Daedric Prey, light attack activate pet, swap bar, heavy attack, start over. Very simple. Takes some practice getting used to doing it, especially the light attacks in between each ability, but it pays off in the long run, it really does, guys. Look at that. Huge DPS uptick right there. 36.5k. That is, once again, more than enough DPS to complete any veteran dungeon in the game. So we got a uptick in DPS just from adding the bird out here, and we didn't even have to push a button to do it. So why not run with both pets, honestly? Alright guys, so that is the basic right there. That's basically all I wanted to go over. We are at the 30-minute mark here. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little tutorial about easily farmed gear, easy rotation, and the ability to get 36,000 DPS. Now granted, I do have champion points in all the right places because I do have a 810 champion points. Some people don't have that, but just hit these real quick so you guys can see what they are. Why? That's not right, but I'm not changing it right now. Elfborn 51, Elemental Defender 49, Spell Erosion 20, Staff Expert 35, Master at Arms 40, and 75 in Thaumaturge. So 72 Ironclad, 4 Spell Shield, 64 Hardy, 64 Elemental Defender, 66 Thick Skin. This is all your damage mitigation. This is important stuff when you get your CP points up high enough. And nothing over here. So that is a breakdown of where we put our points here, real quick like. And I don't want to take up any more of your time here, guys. So I'm going to cut this short, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and we will make some more. So all I'm asking is if it's something you enjoyed, please give us a little bit of a thumbs up on the video, or even a subscribe. And if you hit the little bell notification thing there, anytime I post things, you will get a notification. And sometimes I just end up going live right from my PlayStation as well, just to see if we can get people on to watch us goof off. So if any of that stuff interests you, or more videos interest you, please let me know, and hit that like and share, subscribe button. But thank you very much for everything you do, guys, and I hope this helps. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me in the guild. Have a good